Still anybody's ball game. If Kennedy makes these 2 points, it's down 1, baby. It's down 1. This is where it's getting hot. People on their feet going crazy right now. Everything counts, baby. He makes it up. Yes! Makes the first one. Makes the first one. 73-71, baby. BBI basketball. Kennedy goes up the next one, baby. You gotta make it count. Gotta make it count and play some defense. And it's good, baby. It's good. It's a 1-point ball game, baby. 1-point basketball game. BBI answer. Plays a hell of a defense right now, baby. They gotta play defense. They can't afford to foul young guy. Shabbat number 4, Young. He's the man to watch. Can't afford to foul him. Young goes to the hole, pulls it up, pass it up. Oh, BBI has a chance, baby. BBI has a chance. Shabbat. This is getting crazy, baby. BBI has a chance to make this one. Kennedy Bass in control. Kennedy, watching the clock. Set number 16, Kennedy goes to the hole, puts it up. Oh, baby! 18.7 seconds, BBI lead by 1 point. BBI, Young puts it up. No, BBI! It's out of control! BBI has just beat up Trinidad and Tobago! The game is over, baby! The game is over! Everybody's going crazy, baby! This one is over! 73-76! The BBI upset Trinidad and Tobago!
And good evening, sports fans. Welcome to the Sports Desk. I am Paul on the ball, and what an exciting way to start. The CBC Tournament 2009, wasn't it great? Well, guess what? 2014, it's back here in the Virgin Islands again, and we have one of the teams here tonight to talk to you, to tell you about the excitement. They actually were, as we're watching the clip, were reminding me that they were here to watch the tournament, and now they say this time it's their time to take the glory from the BBI. Well, guys, good evening and welcome to have you. They didn't actually say that, I made it up. But we have with us George Hughes, actually a very old friend of mine. We're going to talk a bit about that, George.
Good night.
Good to have you. And along with him, a very, I'm trying to find a nice word. Very, what was the word we use? Friendly, lovely guy. I just met him, but Courtney Williams, he is the manager of the Antigua Bulldogs. And I know when the Bulldogs play, they go woof, 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 woof. So guys, you have actually been here for literally a whole week before anyone else. You guys came here early. You know, what's the focus? You guys came here early because you want to make sure you win the tournament. What's the deal?
Well, basically, we had our emphasis was on bringing back home some college guys, and because they were coming from various colleges, we wanted to take them away from Antigua and take them away from the regular routine. So we wanted to, kind of bring them into a setting where they could just concentrate on just getting prepared. So we just decided to have this this camp to see exactly how well we could get them prepared.
Now, Courtney, you specifically said that you remember that game between Trinidad and the Virgin Islands and the end there.
Yeah. Lovely game. It brings a smile to my face, man. You defied all odds at home and brought home a championship. What a better place to do it in front of your home fans. It was nice. Actually, I really thought they were going to lose that game. They were down 3 with literally time on the clock not to make it happen. I mean, but they did make it happen. But, if the team would have managed the ball well and done what they were supposed to do, it would have been a closeout. But the energy provided by the fans at home gave them the juice to do what seemed impossible to me, and they did it. It was a very exciting game. And I'm looking forward to more excitement.
But that's what I want to talk to you about a bit. As the manager, and having been here before, you've come in with certain expectations. You obviously have a lot of respect for the tournament. You know it's a high caliber tournament. What has been the mental approach as the manager have you taken with the young? 'Cause most of these young guys wouldn't have played in the previous tournament.
No.
Because when I look at the guys, I didn't recognize a lot of the faces. So tell me what has been from a manager's perspective. We come to the coach in a minute. From my perspective, what has been the development and the mental approach for them to understand the caliber of this tournament?
Actually, speaking to the coaches and listening to their perspective of having the camp early and coming down here was a very good idea. Like I said, I was here before. I felt the energy. I met the people. I found Tortola to be a very, 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 very high-powered place. I felt, like I said, I felt the energy, and it was just a sensible thing to do, to come back down here to feed off of that same energy. And I hope the people pump us up. They've been very receptive so far, and I hope that like you said, we have some young players, and it's very instrumental to get them out of their comfort zone. Like the coach said earlier. We had some college players coming in, and to have them come into a situation where these other guys are home and they have other responsibilities and are not as focused as them wouldn't be the ideal situation, you know. So they're coming into the situation. We'd like to have our local players that's based at home come into the same, so everybody can come in on a level playing field and see if we can build on that foundation. And it seemed to have worked. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far, and I'm sure the coach will tell you that he's liked what he's seeing so far, and we're very optimistic about next week.
Well, George has sat there patiently waiting for his turn. Obviously, you're the one who has been with the guys on ground zero, you know, in the trenches working with them. What has been the response? How have they been looking?
Actually, we're a bit surprised at how quickly the guys meshed. Our team is kind of in transition. We're trying to transition from some of the older players to some of the newer guys, and I'm sure you know that it's pre-carnival season in Antigua.
Well, you know, funny enough, it's the same thing here, you know. Well, it's festival here, but it's the same jump up.
And basically, every weekend is something going on. So,
Lions Club or something.
Well, they have lots of fetes every weekend, and we decided that we wanted to just take them away from all the noise, all the things that would distract them, and bring them into an environment where they can just concentrate on what we're trying to do.
Okay, so I don't know if we have something coming in there. I sort of this might be a text. I'll get to that in a minute. So the Antigua Bulldogs. Let's talk a bit about that. Why you call the Bulldogs? And give us a bit of history behind the Bulldogs.
Well, I was made to understand that Mr. Noel Nye Roberts, I'm sure that's a well-known name.
It's funny, that's going to mention Nye's name, funny enough.
Right, he and Wayne Harris, they went to a school in Michigan, and apparently the school that they went to, their mascot was a bulldog, and apparently after they graduated and came back, they thought it appropriate to rename or just to give it some hype and name the team in Antigua after their school, and that's the way I thought it came up.
For those of you who don't know, Nye Roberts is a young man who died tragically from a biking incident. Motorcycle in Antigua. But individuals say that and I've seen Naya play personally, as many of all of the older national team from the Virgin Islands have seen him play. He was probably one of the most talented guys we've ever seen. Very unselfish in the Caribbean. Very talented guy and well respected. So it was a great loss,
tragic,
not just to Antigua, but to the whole region.
Right.
And people still talk about it. I was speaking to a good friend of mine that they call Funny,
right,
who's Kenny Thomas, and I was speaking with him the other day, and he mentioned Naya.
Right.
So it's
well respected. A great resume, a great basketball resume, and it's something that it could actually say is legendary.
Now, on the other hand, you also mentioned Wayne Harris, and I remember Wayne as a boy when he couldn't play basketball, and Wayne wanted.
You wouldn't take kindly to
that. No, but I know Wayne when he was a boy, And when Wayne wanted to play basketball,
Right, yeah.
he wanted badly to be a basketball player. And he just practiced and practiced and practiced. And one day, Wayne just didn't become good.
Right.
He became exceptional.
Right.
And I couldn't believe how he had made that transition.
Right.
You know, to becoming from an average player to becoming not just good, but a great player and made a great name for himself.
As a matter of fact, he made the All Caribbean team as a guard. So he really and truly improved from the days.
I remember him when he first came to academy school, and
Right.
Well, I remember in those days we had people like Job,
Right.
who is Christian, who were tremendous players. Job is the guy that bounced
Very
the
athletic.
ball better with his left hand than with his right hand.
Very athletic.
Yeah. Oh yes.
He was all around, a footballer.
Yeah. Won Clifton Games medals in the shot put. The first person to win a gold medal in the pole vault.
Right.
Very talented guy. Went to Germany and goalkeeper for the German national team. So you're talking about some very, very talented persons, and you know Wayne understudied these guys.
Right.
And became a very good player himself.
Yeah. So our emphasis really is to transition the team and to put them in a place where they're comfortable, and we have a couple of players who came in from the United States as well. Not in college, but you know, some play professionally, and they have really taken mentorship to the younger guys, and have been able to mold them and show them what's expected and what is needed to compete in a tournament like this.
Now I'm going to put you guys on the spot here a bit, because I know you've seen the level and the BVI team. I know you know the BVI team is a tough team. They also have a big following. What can the Antigua and Barbuda Bulldogs do to upset some of the stronger teams, which is going to include the local team?
Well, we're probably placed in the group of death, really.
Explain that.
As it pertains to basketball,
Right.
because our zone consists of Cuba, Bahamas, ourselves, and St. Vincent, and the other group consists of BVI, the USVI, Guyana, and Barbados. Right, so we have our work cut out for us, and we know it's going to be a grind, and we're preparing ourselves for any eventualities that come up.
Wow, so you guys have the Cubans, the Vincentians, and the Bahamians, to deal with. That's not the zone of death is right.
It's not an easy task.
No, that's not going to be an easy zone at all to come out of.
No.
But okay, let me ask you, do you feel that you're well prepared and you're ready for it?
Yeah.
Can you win that?
Well, it's something where we're actually in preparations for. I mean, it all comes down to the players on the court and how we manage the game and how we manage the possessions, and it's something where we'll see how well the guys have matured.
Yeah, we're trying to steal some of that energy from the BV Islanders, so come out and support. Same thing that you did last year in the finals, just come and cheer, especially for us in our zone. I mean, I can't tell you to cheer against your team if we do crossover, but for now, you can reciprocate the love that we're showing you by being here, and
we've been here an entire week, so
it's funny to say.
So we're actually a part of you right now. Until we play.
You took the words out of my mouth, because I was going to say, you guys have been here so long, and you can be the second home team.
Exactly.
That's one of the reasons, like I said, that we came down here. It's it's funny, in fact, that one of the guys were telling me today that one of the locals saw them and they were like, "Oh, the Antiguan team, you guys are here early. The association must have a lot of money to waste down there sending you guys down here." They were having some fun and throwing a little blows and enjoying, and it was in good spirit. I'm saying, it wasn't it was laughter and smiles, and we took it in good spirits, and everybody shook hands and they welcomed us here, and so like I said, the guys experienced some of the love from the people, and I just hope that they continue to have fun doing what they're doing, and at the same time pay attention to the coach, and do what's necessary for us to advance in this tournament.
All right, we're going to take a pause for a cause to thank our sponsors. When we come back, we're going to talk more about the CBC tournament, which, in case we didn't mention, is going to be coming up from next week Tuesday to next week Sunday, is it, guys?
Yeah, first
Tuesday to next week. Saturday
Yeah.
is the men's tournament.
the first to
and
the
then
5th.
The 1st to the 5th. That's going to be held, of course, at the Multipurpose Sports Complex here in Road Town. So stick and stay. We'll take a pause. Right back after word from our sponsor.
Sports Desk is sponsored by Lime, the better, faster 4G network.
Welcome back, sports fans. I'm Paul on the ball, and we're talking CBC basketball here tonight. We have with us live on air the BVI Bulldogs, the manager and the coach. We have the manager, Mr. Courtney Williams, and coach George Hughes.
Antigua Bulldogs.
Antigua, what did I say?
BVI.
I said BVI? Oh, wow.
Hey,
Antigua Bulldogs.
hey, you were
but
right.
you see, that's
You were
Courtney's
right.
fault,
You were
because
right.
Courtney has
You were
asked
right.
me specifically for the Antigua team to become the BVI team. You know,
He confused you.
from well, we want the fans to support Antigua, right? Is that what you're saying,
Yeah, I
Courtney?
mean, they're coming out. It's Antigua and BVI.
Antigua BVI all one.
2
The
zones.
producers, they're going Antigua.
In our
It's
zone,
one,
in our
it's
zone,
one,
in
right?
our zone, in our
See,
zone. Yeah.
remember that the Antigua is no problem for us because they're in a different zone. Let me give you the zones. We have 2 zones. We have Cuba, Bahamas, St. Vincent, and Antigua. That's what George has referred to as the
Group of death.
group of death. That's the group of death. And then we have the other zone, which is the
Group of
BVI,
life.
the group of life. I like that. The group of life. USBI, the BVI, Guyana, and the Barbados. That's the group of life. And none of the West Indies players are on either of those teams. Maybe just Chris Gale.
Yes, yes.
So those are the 2 groups. Now, guys, it's amazing that when you're off air, a lot of the more talk happens off air than it does on, doesn't it?
Indeed.
Surprisingly.
Well, yeah. One of the things that came up and seems to be quite of an interest, maybe of interest to some of you as well. There seems to be a lot of rulings that FIBA has brought out in recent years or over a period of time that affects teams from one way or another. I guess if I come to I don't know whether the coach or manager would like to answer this. What difficulties do you find that you're facing from a Bulldogs perspective?
Well, well, it's not just a Bulldogs perspective only. It's a Caribbean and perspective in terms of we're faced with a situation where FIBA has a ruling that in order for players to play, if they are not born in that country in which they want to represent, that they would have had to have their passport of that country before the age of 16.
So they must have already had an Antigua passport before they were 16 years of age.
Antiguan, BVI.
I mean, I'm saying of
yeah.
that country.
Yeah. And this pertains to a lot of players who have parentage of that country,
Right.
but were born overseas.
Right.
And somehow I think the Caribbean countries need to, have a class action consensus
Right.
that we can take to
FIBA.
the FIBA situation, because I am not quite sure if that is something that can carry on, because I'm sure the BVI team have identified people who were have Tortola descent,
Right, yeah,
and would like to represent the country, and because of the ruling, you can only play with one naturalized player.
Right. So yeah.
And that also makes the competition not as exciting and not as top notch as it could have been.
Right.
If they had been relaxed on that rule.
Okay, so interesting ruling, and certainly it'll be interesting to get some feedback from some of the other countries as well. But just from listening to you speak, obviously it's an issue that needs to be dealt with.
It is. I find it's the same thing too, because a lot of time you might be overseas, or you might go overseas to have a child, and you come back home, and your son or daughter spends a significant amount of time in the
space.
country of the parentage birth, and you know, going and coming and doing a lot of things, and if you don't get a local passport, now if you already have a passport, you were born, you know, you left, you went to the US, you were born, you come back home, you do some schooling here, you went to school, your high school and whatnot, you go away and do college. I mean, if you have a passport when you were born in the US, yes, but both your parents are from locals.
Yes.
And you've been to school here, you've been here, you know the people here, you're doing your things here, you went away, you go to college, and now you're playing sports, and you come and you want to play for the country that
your parents.
I mean, which you consider the country of.
Yes,
that's where you're from.
Of course, sure.
Yeah, you were born, but that's where you're from.
Yes.
And because you didn't get a passport before you were 16, you already have a passport. You can travel. It's not something that.
It's absolutely necessary.
Not only not necessary if you're not thinking along that lines. Hey, I want to have a career in basketball, playing for Tortola or Antigua or whatever. So I need to get a passport there quickly so that I can be eligible. Not knowing these rules, you wouldn't notice a rule like this unless you're part of the system.
Right.
And you know, coming from the islands, it's a disadvantage because now you're away at college, you turn 15, 16, 17, 18, and you get, you know, you're recruited. It's too late.
It's too late. Yeah.
And your homeland lose a talent that would otherwise, you know, can do things for the country because you can gain talent, you can gain skills, you can come back, you can share, you can play, you can be a local hero, but you're not allowed to because of something like this, and it's a shame because the bigger countries where talents, where coaches and other people like that scout you early.
Yes.
In the US, you know, by the time you're 9 and you have a certain height, somebody's already looking at you.
Yeah.
You know, down here or back in Antigua, hey, at 9 you're allowed to be a kid.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody's really harassing you or coming to your parents, hey, we want this guy to be a footballer, we want this guy to be a basketballer. But I mean, it's happening more now because of things like this, and it's a good thing to get the kids into sports early. But you know, it's a challenging thing.
Penalized for not having
no,
a passport.
That's one of the things.
The Belizean team, though, I think has had an issue, and I think they have had some players that they have had issue with, and I think they're taking the FIBA to task.
Okay.
Actually, they're probably taking them to the courts
Right.
because they played with a couple of players, and then they were disqualified.
Right.
After the
tournament.
Right after the tournament. So they are contending that their constitution allowed them to hold dual citizenship.
Right.
And that's something that is ongoing, and we're patiently waiting to see how that pans out. Yeah,
I understand where they're coming from, but I mean, they just need to understand the difficulties, and you know, especially when the guys really want to. You know, it's you get a sense of pride, not that because you have a U.S. passport, you get a sense of pride doing things where, you know, with guys rubbing shoulders with the guys that you grew up with. And having a sense of loyalty to a place that you really call home, and it's sad that you lose some of that in the wider scope of things, that you can't get the representation of the talented people that you know you consider homelanders and islanders, you know.
Absolutely.
So it's I understand where they're coming from. I can't just dismiss it and say, but it's something that can be looked at. Yeah, we can tweak it. We can tweak it.
Well, if you're wondering, we're here live. I'm Paul the Ball, and we have along with us Mr. Courtney Williams, along as George Hughes. They are the head coach and the manager of the Antigua Bulldogs, here to play in the CBC tournament this weekend. Now, earlier you saw a clip with the BVI and Trinidad in the semi-finals in the last minute or so, where the BVI trailed by 3 with seconds to go and won the game by 3. Now we're going to have a look at Jamaica, who played the BVI in the finals. Of course, regionally we refer to it as the BVI, but we are the Virgin Islands. So they played us in the finals. Then let's have a look at that clip and see how the BVI did then.
Mr. Air Kennedy's in control. Mr. Air Kennedy clearing the way. Air Kennedy goes to the hoop, puts up a shot, and it's good, baby! It is good! Smith for Jamaica goes to the hoop, gets it out to Friend puts it up. Oh, no! Manson, no, my friend! giving the Jamaican team 63-59 with 36 seconds. Got on some safety set that this game was almost in your hands. Let's see what the BBI is going to do. BBI is still in the basketball game, baby. Chino, 361-63. Jamaica right now in control, number 5. Small guard for Jamaica. Challenged there by Kennedy, and Kennedy. Oh, he's jotting, he's doing his thing. Gives it out to the big man. Oh, and he missed it. He missed it. A monster play right there, he missed it. Right now, Kennedy's in control. Kennedy goes to the hoop, puts it up, and it's no good. Rebound. Puts it back up. Good. That's number 10, J.R. J.R. Charlie gets it out to Kennedy. Ed Kennedy in control of the ball right now. Puts up a 3, doesn't go. No, rebound Ed Kennedy. Puts it back up, and it's good. It is good. Smith, number 11, gets it off. Gets it off to his man. He goes to the hoop, puts up a shot. Oh, it's good. Jamaica is back in business, baby. Jag gets it off to Chino. Chino pulls up. Does it go? Yes, baby! Yes!
Okay, welcome back, sports fans. As you can see, some real excitement there in the 2009 CBC tournament. Well, it's here again live, and we have with us this evening the Bulldogs coach and manager Courtney Williams, along with George. George, help me here.
Hughes.
Hughes, it is Hughes. I'll make sure I got it right. And they're talking about what's been happening in their backyard, and also what's been happening to them for the last week. They're the only team that actually decided to come here early. And guys, how has that been working out for you?
Well, coming early has allowed us to double up on practices, and we've had a lot of time to really and truly get into what we want to do as it pertains to being prepared. I also want to thank the BVI people for their kind hospitality. We've been here, and everyone, when we go out, everyone that meets the team is very excited, and we have our little back and forth, but it's very exciting to be here, and it's my first time, and I thoroughly enjoy my visit so far.
Okay, we have a caller coming. We'll take that call. Good evening, Sports Desk. Go right ahead, please. Yes, sir. Good evening.
This is Kenny Thomas.
Hey, Kenny. Great to hear from you. Tell me. I know you.
I am just, Antigua's like my second home.
Okay.
And I know the guy there with the plants. I know him.
Okay.
And I'm just calling to let you all know he's welcome to my country. And we'll do our best to treat you all right.
Right.
Thank you.
All right. And may God continue to bless you all.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Actually, before you go, Funny, we mentioned your name earlier because the last time you and I spoke, you had mentioned Naya, who was the player that was mentioned tonight. Tell us what you remember about Naya.
That was my main man. Me and he used to go at each other.
Yes.
What sort of quality player was he from you, or do you remember?
Oh, Naya was quick. He was very quick, and he could shoot the outside shot. If he would catch you off your box, go by you, and if you back off for him, he could hit 3-point shot. He was all along though.
So do you think that the Antigua team is going to be a team to watch for this tournament?
Well, yes, because Antigua is a very challenging team. They're always aggressive. So you can't take your eyes off of them.
All right, well, thanks a lot for calling, and I'm sure the guys, Courtney was asking for support, and he's got it.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Good. So there you go. The support is there, the guys.
Hey.
Courtney.
I'm happy for that. Because this is not anything new. There are a lot of other teams out there that will be coming down next week, and they're also in camps around the world. Some are in the
US.
In the US, they have commandeered some college facilities, and they're doing their thing. But it was the wise thing to do. From a financial and otherwise standpoint of coming here early and getting that done. So I don't want the fans out there to think that the tournament is going to be any less exciting or it's going to be droopy because they're only seeing us here doing. They're people behind the scenes, and they're doing their homework, and they're training, and they're practicing, and they're doing their camps, but just not for the love of the the BVI like we are. So that's one of the next reasons you should come out and support the Antiguan team in their zone.
We have another caller coming through. Let's see what this caller says. Good evening, Sports Desk. Paul on the ball. Go ahead, please, with the Bulldogs.
Good night, Paul on the ball and your guest.
Good night. Thank you for
Good
calling.
night. Good night.
Good night.
I
Good.
think I'm in them big,
I think what?
Men are big.
Honey, we have some more to bring that they couldn't make it this time. They're much bigger.
Yeah?
Yes. Hopefully sometime, maybe in another tournament or so, you will feature them. But these ones will be big. They're sort of big.
I know they'll be glad to hear
Like
that.
you have any of the original the last 5 years?
No.
No, well, like I said earlier, the team is in transition mode. We have a lot of the players that are here, are mostly college-based players, and we're just trying to put them in a situation where they can gel and be together for a particular period of time, and to see exactly what we can accomplish from that situation.
Yeah.
I actually saw your plus scrimmage game this afternoon.
Oh,
You
okay.
did what?
Saw you play scrimmage.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. We did see a couple people in there.
Right,
so
yeah.
that's really okay.
We actually wanted a closed gym, but you were able to sneak in before.
Hey, don't bother him. I welcome you anytime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't bother him. I welcome you.
Your boy, they're good shooter, 3-point shooter, boy. Ooh. They look good on behind the arch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, we hope they don't shoot out all. We hope that they save some for next week.
But before you all go,
Yes, ma'am.
you mentioned something about the FIBA rule pertaining to the national players.
Right.
And you say about the country might have taken them to court or something to that extent?
No, I actually mentioned that the Belize Federation, they participated in a tournament, and two of their players were deemed ineligible because of their country of birth. They weren't born in Belize, but they has Belizean parentage. And I think they took the FIBA to court, and that's ongoing. So basically, we're waiting to see what transpires from that. And I think realistically that our federations around the Caribbean should really support the Belizean situation, because we are having the same difficulty in Antigua, and I'm sure in BVI you're having the same difficulty too.
Yeah, we have the same thing too. I think, like you say, Caribbean country, they should challenge it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it would affect the team,
Yeah, it does, and we have so many players that could actually showcase themselves that are not really here.
Suppose the outcome of the Belize challenge should make an adjustment, because they might want that case. Will it be able to be effective to help assist this tournament now? It happened before they actually started?
Yeah, well, it wouldn't really have an effect now, because I guess we'd basically have. Yeah, it's too close.
Yeah, close.
But it's something that we could follow up on.
Yeah, I don't like that rule. I think they should make an amendment there, though. Because it have good players, they really, like you said, really like, what about they really want to play?
Miss, we have.
Play. They really want to play, to represent their country. Like you say, that's their home. They probably born overseas, but they're actually rare in that particular country.
Right.
So
we will see how it pans out, though.
Yeah, but y'all are very much welcome to our country,
Thank you.
We appreciate your hospitality so far.
Yeah, okay. You're welcome, and
Thanks a lot.
See you next week.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Okay, guys, we're in the tyranny of the clock now, so I'm going to give you each, to start with the manager, any final words, anything that you want to say to the public or to anyone else?
Well, the Antiguan Bulldogs are here, and like the caller said previously, they will be practicing for the next couple of days, and tweaking a couple of things, and people are welcome to if they see the team approach and share whatever sentiments might be fitting at the time. And I just thank everyone for their hospitality, and I look forward to a good tournament. I encourage everyone to come out, support. You know, it's a very exciting tournament. You know, just come out and have good, clean fun, bring out the family, and let's have a good time together as Caribbean people. You know.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Courtney. That's Courtney Williams, the manager for the Antigua Bulldogs, and also the coach, George Hughes. George?
Yes, well, actually, this is a very important tournament in terms of the Caribbean situation. This is actually an Olympic qualifier, and we need to have our best players represent us because we don't have a population of 4 or 5 million like other countries do. So we want to have our best players playing for us, and we want to have good basketball. Also, I'd like to thank the Tortola people for their kind hospitality. We felt nothing but love since we've been here, and we're just happy to be here. And it's my first trip, and I'll be back definitely.
Well, George, I'm surprised to hear you say it's your first trip because I see you so often. I can't believe it's your first time here.
Yeah, I've made many plans to come, but this is actually my first trip here.
Of course, you didn't tell the folks that we played volleyball together.
Oh yes. Back in the day, we're dual sports.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're going to take a pause for a cause. I want to thank you guys very much also for being here today. We enjoyed it.
Our pleasure.
And looking forward to seeing the Bulldogs doing well in the tournament.
Thank you.
For sure.
Thank you.
We're going to take a pause for a cause. When we come back, my main man is in the studio, Mr. Carl Debs Catliff. He's here to talk a bit about soccer. So we'll talk a bit about that. We'll stick and stay right back after a word from our sponsors.
Sports Desk is sponsored by Lime, the better, faster 4G network.